Hello guys, this is Karthik. Today we are going to explaining about our project midterm submission from team group 6. Okay, and these are all my team members: Akhil Vipadfu and Naresh Devasani, Saitya Akula and Rakibul Hassan. So we are 4 members and we are starting our project to explaining. So yeah, first of all, Rakib will start our abstract of the project. Yeah, Rakib, you can continue.
Hello everyone. I'm going to explain the abstract and introduction of our project. This proposed project aims to develop a model for detecting credit card fraud in real time. So, with the increase in credit card fraud incidents, it is necessary to find a solution to identify potential transactions. Can you go to the slide abstract? Okay. So the project proposes the use of AI and machine learning to automate the process of detecting fraud, thereby reducing the workload of manual detection. The project suggests using anomaly detection algorithms and decision trees to improve accuracy in detecting fraudulent transactions. The project performance is evaluated based on accuracy, responsiveness, and specificity. Can you move to the introduction?
Yes.
So, credit card fraud is a significant problem that has been increasing with the widespread use of credit cards, particularly for online transaction. And fraudsters use various methods to commit fraud, resulting in substantial financial losses for both merchants and individuals. In a statistics of like 2017, nearby half of institutions reported experience in financial crime related to credit card fraud. Therefore, there is a need to develop effective methods to detect and prevent credit card fraud. And credit card fraud can have a significant impact not only on the financial health of individuals and business, but also on their reputation. For instance, if I give an example that if a card holder becomes a victim of fraud with a particular company, they may lose trust in that business and choose a competitor instead. So, fraud detection is the process of monitoring the transaction behavior of cardholders to identify whether incoming transactions are legitimate or unauthorized. So there's a lot of techniques researchers have developed to like detect credit card fraud, like using AI, data mining, fuzzy logic, and AI models. So far, AI has been recognized as a successful measure for fraud detection in credit card transaction, and it's making it popular and effective solution. So from next, my team member
Naresh. Yeah,
Nars will
Naresh.
continue.
Thank you, Hassan. Hello, my name is Naresh Devasani. In this presentation, I'm going to brief you about the scope of the project and literature survey. First, scope of the project. The proposed project aims to develop a model for detecting fraudulent activities in credit card transactions. The model will use advanced technologies such as AI and machine learning to automate the detection process and reduce the amount of manual effort required. As technology advances, the detecting fraudulent activities become more difficult. However, by utilizing advanced technologies such as AI and machine learning, the detection process can be automated. Now, coming to literature survey. Can you move to the next slide, please? In the first study, the authors proposed a hybrid approach using support vector machines, SVMs, and decision trees to detect credit card fraud. They argue that electronic payment systems are susceptible to fraud, and in this approach can reduce financial losses due to fraud. In the second study, the authors propose an AI-based approach to detect mobile payment fraud, which is becoming increasingly prevalent with the rise of smartphones and online payment services. They use supervised and unsupervised learning methods to process large volume of transaction data and achieve high accuracy in fraud detection. Overall, both studies state the importance of using advanced AI techniques to combat financial fraud and protect individuals to organizations from financial losses. Can you move to the next slide? From this slide, my fellow teammate Akhil will continue.
Yeah, I'm Akhil. My name is Akhil. I'm going to discuss about advantages and disadvantages. First, I'm discussing about disadvantages. The clustering does not produce the less accuracy when compared to regression methods in scenarios like credit card fraud detection. Comparatively with other algorithms, K-means produce less accurate scores in prediction. In this kind of scenarios, and I'm going to discuss about advantages. The results obtained by the logistic regression algorithm is best compared to any other algorithms. The accuracy obtained was almost equal to cent%, which proves using of logistic algorithm give best results actually. The plots that are plotted according to the proper data that is processed during the implementation. And these are the advantages. And next, I'm discussing about software requirements. These are the software requirements that are OS, Windows, or Linux, and Python IDE 2.7x and some above. PyCharm IDE required, and the tools, setup tools, and PIP to be installed for 3.6 and above. And the language is going on under Python scripting. And the hardware requirements are the RAM, the minimum 4 GB and higher more than. And the processor is going Intel i3 and more. Hard disk 500 GB minimum. And the next, my friend Karthik will be discuss about architecture. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Akhil. Thanks so much. Yeah. Today I'm going to explain myself, Karthik. Today I'm going to explain about the architecture of our project, credit card fraud detection. So here you can see the architecture of datasets, collecting the datasets from the fraud customers and the true customers, like class 0 and class 1, like that. For these two datasets, we have to give some algorithms, use logistic regression algorithms and some more algorithms. We have to test and train the data. After that, we get a score calculation around to total the accuracy of finding the whether it is a true data set, true customer or a fraud customer. Moving to next slide, this is the actual architecture, how we're gonna implement it, our code, and what are the requirements we are using in this actual project. So user can be use the Django framework. Actually, Django framework done on the uh, backend part of our Python scripting, so that Django will use the URLs for the modeling the all test, and it gonna be show the models and template also. Next slide. So these are the UML diagrams to design how the actual process going on, how I can implement the code and the deployment, etc. So I'm collecting the two data sets of any other fraud and user data sets. After that, I am using that into the Coggle model and implementing Coggle model and attach it to .cv file, so that after collecting the .cv file from Excel sheet, so I have to train and pre-process the data and train and uh, model the data so that we can use that. This is the class diagram actually. Okay, so the data sets Kaggle and open, and we're gonna prepare the list of algorithms, and we can validate those algorithms using the classes. So these are the algorithms actually. The algorithm is logistic regression, one of the finest algorithm in modern day machine learning and Python technology. So in this regression analysis, conduct so many analytics and logistic regressions to explain the relation between a dependent binary and another conditions like probability also. So this is k nearest neighbor. It is kn can find the parameters and the exact accuracy rate of data sets for the nearest positive value and negative value. And this is the random forest one, and also one of the important in machine learning techniques. So these three algorithms are mainly based to implement our pre-processing data to convert into accuracy. So these are the sample outputs actually. Actual GUI look like this. So we're gonna import the data sets and upload the credit card data sets after we pre-process and check the whether it is a fraud or unfraud. And this is a graph representation how many transactions, fraud transactions, total transactions is done by the users. So that's all for my. Now the Sahitya will continue the other process. Thank you.
So as Karthik spoke about the actual process of what is happening, I will tell you what testing happens, how testing happens. So testing is most important part of the process where you will get to know the actual mistakes, like where all we were going through the mistakes. And this testing will help us to find the possible outcomes so that we can manufacture them and then get back to the original problem and then get the solutions back. So we get the values of all the parts, sub-concretion, and gathering them to the final items so that we get to execute the actual process. And then I can see that testing is a usual way of practicing the program so that we can meet all the prerequisites and reach out the customer satisfaction, because at the end of the day that is the most important part. Like what we actually do is just to make the customer satisfied so that we get to the actual core solutions and then solve the program. And here in testing, we get to the actual problem so that we can clarify it. So it goes with different processes. It comes with reconciliation checking. So reconciliation checking, what happens exactly is we test the coordinating programming paths so that we can decide whether the whole code is being run on a particular one software, or we can do it or we can't, so that we get to know through the reconciliation checks and testings. And then coming to incorporation testing, this is like morely focused on problems by coordinating the elements. Like once we get to coordinate the elements, we get the program, like we get a problem. Uh, when we coordinate these elements, we will get to know the actual problem of what is happening. And then we can incorporate the solution for this so that we can get to know the actual solution of where it is going wrong. And then coming to the integration testing, I can say that it is done morely on the uh, it is done morely on two problems, like coordinating programming components and supply disappointments. So we will get to the aggregate of these 2 points, and then we solve it by interface deserts. We solve this issue by interface deserts. And then we have few test desires, like we should fulfill these test desires. So these test desires are all connections and sections must be arranged accordingly. And then we have the segment display screen, message, and reactions, which are needed to be, which should not be differed from one to other. And then we have this check section, we have the check sections where we need to do everything in a proper arrangement. Like all these sections, check sections should be in a proper arrangement, and there must no we should not have any duplicates or replicas of what the existing sets of data do we have. And we should make sure all the connections are needed to be connected properly so that we can get to the desired web page. That is, if we click one point, then we get to that web page. That is more important. So connections are more important. And then field testing might be done like physically. But the sensible testing is done using the written process. And the final one is acknowledgement of customer. This is the most simplest one, where you get to know the exact interest of the customer and you need to fulfill those. By using these testings, we get to know the core of what the customer is wanting and what we are needed to fulfill. And then I would come to the conclusion. So this process is used to detect the credit card transactions, right? So we will get the conclusion here. So this process is used to detect the credit card transaction, which we get to know whether it's being frauded or it's being genuine. So we get the database, and from that database, we get the transactions of each person. We get the fraud transactions of each person by using the machine learning algorithms, and then we get all these algorithms on the we run these algorithms on the Python, and then we get to know whether what percentage of fraud is being happening, and how we need to overcome these processes. By using the percentage of that fraud transactions, we can just decide these may not occur more. And I can see that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the contribution. Yeah, thank you. Bye, all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
అయిపోయింది